What's up guys, Sid Productions here, and today we're doing another Versus review. And today we're looking at the Hiya Toys King of the Monsters Rodan and the MonsterArts King of the Monsters Rodan. Now, I'm not gonna act like I'm a Rodan mega fan. I mean, he sadly didn't have much screen time in King of the Monsters, but whenever he did, he had such a good presence. And I love this design. It's a great reinterpretation of the Rodan design. It's much more beast-like and dinosaur-like, and I'm a huge fan of it. So having two figures in plastic form, we're going to see which one is better, like we did with Godzilla. And we'll be starting off with the MonsterArts box, and first things first, this figure came with another figure, that being Mothra. But I will not be talking about Mothra in this video since I'm still waiting for Entertainment Earth to send my freaking Mothra, but we'll be looking at the Rodan side of things, so we'll keep that in mind when thinking about the price point. This figure was originally $100 and came with both of them and has some very nice box art, some good paint work on the figure. But that's all with this box. Now let's take a look at the actual figure. So taking the figure out of the box, we get a good number of things. We get the actual figure of Rodan. We get a stand and a cradle piece. This is the one that I'm using right now. But Rodan is not really able to do anything when he's like laying like that. You're not really good for posing. So it's always, in my opinion, recommended to do it with one of these. And that works nicely. Now putting him to like that. As you can see, he looks pretty good. Some great sculpt work and, you know, great molding all around. I'm just going to take him off the stand for now. Some cool looking feather / scale detail all over the body. And yeah, my biggest disappointment with this figure is the plastic quality. I definitely feel like this does feel pretty cheap, which sucks since this is a $100 figure. Well, technically it's half of a $100 figure, so it's $50, let's just say. So for a $50 figure, this isn't too bad. I mean, it could be way worse, but like the paint on the eyes looks pretty good. Let me just get that. Yeah, the paint on the eyes looks pretty good. It does have a movable tongue. The mouth cannot open too far. A head could look left and right, up and down. Swivel on each of the neck joints right here. His wings can flap this much and cannot go back that far, but can go have very nice movement going forward. He has a ab crunch. His legs can kick back, but not too much forward, and his feet are also not that poseable, but they're on a swivel, and he has knee joints, and he also has a little tail joint. So overall, the posability is what you'd expect from a giant bird. I mean, we're not really expecting, you know, like something like the Skull Devil, that being like such articulated legs. And this is also a smaller figure since it's meant to scale with the MonsterArts Godzilla. And, you know, but as for the paintwork, I honestly feel like it's almost blatantly lied about what the paintwork was like, because this figure is mostly unpainted. I mean, yes, he has some light dry brushing on all over his body, but, you know, still, it's like not a lot of paint. And, you know, switching out the cradle, put it just simple like that, and putting it on there, you know, it holds decently well. Let me just the other way. Oh. Yeah, and this thing that barely works. Like, all right, let's just put it back to the stand it was in. Putting him back on the stand, he does look pretty nice in his aerial poses. But I do wish this came with, I don't know, more accessories, maybe some planes or fire blast effect. I know he didn't do that in the movie, but he kind of did it in that artwork. But it looks fine, I guess. I mean, I'm not really expecting much from Rodan. It's a very nice looking design put into plastic form. But, you know, I was kind of hoping for a bit more since, you know, Tamashii Nations and SH MonsterArts have been the leading people doing Godzilla figures, and I was kind of expecting a bit more. But let's look at the new kid on the block, Hiya Toys. So, looking at the box for the Hiya Toys figure, this box is huge. I think it's a little overly huge. Then again, this figure is decently big. But yeah, pretty basic packaging all around, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep complaining about this. Hiya Toys, you got big boxes. And compared to Godzilla, like, you know, that's pretty big. But taking box aside, it looks fine. You know, if you're an inbox collector, it's cool. But getting rid of the box, the Hiya Toys Rodan comes with very similar accessories. That being a stand with a crate with the arms right there, and the actual figure. And like the other Rodan, it just is a nice little snug fit like that. And then it's just about angling it so he can be in the air. And this figure looks very nice. I mean, I don't want to sound like a Hiya Toys shill, or like I'm constantly like dunking on SH MonsterArts, but I just feel like this figure feels and looks way better for about the same price. So this was the original release of the Rodan. They're currently doing a re-release, repaint. I'm not really sure what that new Flameborn Rodan was. This was actually my first Hiya Toys figure. So this is my first experience with their figures, and it looks very nice. I mean, I will say the posability is almost identical. So he can put his arms that much forward and that much back. Head can move up and down, swivel here, swivel there, and swivel there. His mouth can open decently wide. His tongue can also move, but it's kind of hard to get in there. He has a swivel at the waist. His abs can move in. His feet actually have some better posability than the SH MonsterArts. It can spread that far. Has a swivel there, and what is this? I guess an ankle, and he even has a little bit of tail posability. So his body isn't as posable as the SH MonsterArts, which does kind of suck. But this is a game changer for this Rodan figure. This Rodan has bendy wires in the wings. Now, as I've mentioned with in my Skull Devil review, bendy wire can be a bit dangerous. It doesn't hold, in my opinion, doesn't hold well longevity-wise. It doesn't, and you know, if it breaks, your figure is like, could be ruined for good. But I mean, come on. If you could recreate the barrel roll pose, like, you know, when he was spinning around like that's just really, really cool. And I think that makes this figure, like, a lot better. And yeah, sadly, you know, we don't know if this will decay over time. I haven't really seen many reports of that. But, you know, if you handled this figure before and it's broken, leave it in the comments. I definitely prefer this figure's paint job, but that doesn't mean I like it. This feels like he's, like, made out of molten rock, and I feel like he was a bit more, I don't know, bright? I mean, maybe that's what the Flameborn figure is for, but to be honest, I can't tell. And I really wish that this guy's tongue wasn't so dark. I like the other one's tongue a bit more. But overall, this figure is pretty good, and you know, even though the posability in the body isn't there, the wings, having posable wings like that is pretty good. But that's it for, I guess, looking at this figure. Again, would have liked a Fire Blast accessory, but I wasn't really expecting too much from a bird character. But let's go to the size comparisons. Let's go to the size comparisons. Putting these two figures side by side, they scale almost identical, to be honest. I don't really see many differences in their size, very similar articulation, and I think that's pretty good considering they're about the same price. But for size comparisons, here he is with Godzilla, Kong, Gigan, Hedorah, and Kevin. Overall, it's honestly up to you which one you want to get. I mean, if you want a Rodan that can just be on your shelf and look good, then I'd recommend the SH Monster Arts one. But if you want one that will be posable and could do all kinds of other things, I do recommend the Hiya Toys one. Another thing we got to think about is the fact that the SH Monster Arts 2-pack is older. It is not currently still in print, so getting it now in the aftermarket will probably be a bit more pricey. But if you just want a Rodan, I think this version of Rodan, the Hiya Toys, and the Flameborn one should do fine. It's just I really wish the SH Monster Arts had better paint work, and I feel like it wouldn't be as bad, but it just makes the figure feel so flat. At least like the Hiya Toys one has more paint and just makes it feel more alive. And it just also makes you feel like you're getting more bang with your buck. Like, just comparing this SH Monster Arts figure to the two I already have, it just feels significantly cheaper, and that really sucks. But what do you guys think of these Rodan figures? Which ones do you have, and which ones are you planning on buying? Leave what you're thinking of down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.